Hello, everybody. This is Veronica Aguilar Garcia. I'm a success coach at the Student Success and Dream Center here at Hondo College. I want to apologize that, we're not able to be on campus in our regular settings and really help you out, but we're trying our best to give you as much information to still reach out to you. That's why our workshop is going to be now online. So before we get started, like a little fun fact about me is I zip lined through a farm and field where I ate fruits and vegetables throughout the whole experience, which was amazing. So if you ever had the chance or the opportunity to do so, go ahead and take it. It's really fun. And since we're talking about self-care, this is another fun way for like a small mini vacation that you could take, right? All right, so before we get started, I wanted to give you current information for right now on ways to reach us. So the first one I know says coronavirus, but what I mean by this, that if we go to a web page here and we click here and then we search for Rio Hondo College, Corona. So as you can see, you type this in and we'll let it load for a little bit. The very first page, which is communications regarding the coronavirus. Go ahead and click on that. And then we click on it. Let's go. This is a page fully because of the coronavirus and how it's affecting the college and how the college is responding back to it. So if you can see here, there's information about academic advice. If you need to see a counselor, Chromebooks and laptop, and you need one, reaching out to faculty, financial aid. I think this one's really important. How-to videos. So for example, if you don't know how to reach your Rio Hondo email, we could go here. If you need help creating your campus logic, there's one right here as well. And then the one that says online orientation and placement. These two are more important because you need to see a counselor, right? And also to check your registration date. And then lastly, and etc. Right? So check out these videos. It will definitely help you, especially if you're a first year student coming here at Hondo College. This will help you out. Right now, since everything's going online, this will be the services. If you're documented or Dream Center, there's resources here for undocumented immigrant students. If you can see on May 1st, we'll be having our panel, our undocumented student panel, You're Not Alone, right? And here is our Zoom link that you need in order to log in. The next one is May 8th, right, for mental health and wellness. And we also have CHILA information. You need help with your DACA and renewal fees and etc. Just a bunch of good information. Also, you'll be checking into our office, right, if you're a Dreamer and documented student, because that's what it's called, Student Success and Dream Center. So we're here to help you. The next one will be called TDO. TDO is our little chat box. So if we scroll up here and we go under current students, and we go for resources, we're gonna look on this side where it says Student Success and Dream Center. If we click on that, it's gonna load. And here, you'll see a little chat box for Student Success and Dream Center. See, you can see here, there's a little small chat box right here. So it's 4 messages. So it's actually one of us. It could be me or other coaches that work here at Student Success and Dream Center. So you're not actually chatting with a box, you're actually chatting with one-on-one with a person, and we could actually help you out with any questions that you need. And then lastly is the Zoom. So if you can see here, I already share with you the link, sorry about that. And go ahead and just type it in, and then it will actually lead you to a Zoom conference, which is kind of like this, where it will be one-on-one conversation. And it will be very helpful, right? So if you feel uncomfortable not making a phone call, you'll actually be with us, right? The next option is to call our office, which is 562-463-6650, right? And the advice that I give is that when you do call us, please give us your full name, as well as the student ID number and your phone number. And the reason why you're calling, I think this is very important because we have students where they don't give us their phone number, so we can't find a way to reach you. So then one way we do so is by giving your student ID number, we look you up and we're able to find your phone number. Now, if you give us an incorrect student ID number, then there's definitely no way for us to contact you and reach out back to you to help you with the questions that you need, right? And sometimes when we do call back, when it comes to reasoning why you're calling, some students don't state where you need help, and sometimes we have to figure out, and that way we already know where we're going to help you and remind you that, hey, you called us and you said you needed help with getting your classes, for example, right? Sometimes students, when we call them back, we don't know the reason, and we ask, what can we help with, and they honestly forget what they called us for. So please do so, and state your name, student ID number, phone number, and the reason why you're calling, right? So let's go ahead and jump into our self-care workshop, which is what we're here for. So self-care is like a very simple straight word, but sometimes very difficult to take action with, right? So let's go ahead and start in. So students' objectives. We increase students' knowledge of the importance of self-care. Students will be able to identify two tools and reasons for self-care. Students will develop a self-care strategy so they could implement in their everyday routine life, right? That's what we're here for, to practice self-care. So a little quote to start off the presentation, lighten up on yourself. No one's perfect. Gently accept your human needs, right? We're not robots. We need some break here, right? Breaks in between the days, right? So what is self-care? Self-care is a mindset, activities, and habits we change and practice in order to cope with stress or any negative emotions, right? So in other words, self-care is about giving ourselves relief when we feel overwhelmed. Self-care activities are usually carried out or at least initiated by the person, right? So you have to be the person who takes action and practice self-care, right? No one's gonna go around and do self-care for you, right? So take care for yourself. You need to know your needs and seek them out. So why is self-care important? Self-care is important because many of us have so many responsibilities in life that we forget to take care of ourselves and our personal needs, right? So especially those who are starting out Rio Hondo College, going to taking classes and doing homework is going to be a new responsibility in your life, right? It's more of by yourself that you attend these classes. So it's another way we need to learn how to balance, right? Self-care is an important aspect of stress management, right? It helps us relieve stress. We are less able to handle the stresses that come on our way when we are physically and emotionally exhausted. So when we really are exhausted, we tend to not have that same energy we once before, and we're not able to effectively do our work, right? So the next one is, not practicing self-care can affect your physical and emotional health. It could be mentally draining as well, right? It helps you take a break from stress and unwind yourself, right? Self-care is good for you inside out. It will help you in many ways. So what is good self-care? So ways that we could practice self-care is that the very first one is prioritize our sleep, right? Get our good hours of sleep so we can feel energy. We can feel the next day we're already take on to the world, the activities that we need to accomplish for that day. So when you prioritize sleep, you'll feel less fatigue. It will lead to better cognitive function and more productivity, right? Also, when you do want to prioritize sleep and you have a schedule, you could plan it out on your schedule and schedule yourself some non-negotiable nap times or bedtimes. This is I definitely do this, right? When I'm like, I feel so not I just feel so tired, so fatigued. I take little small times and breaks between the day, right? So I could feel like I could re-energize, feel fresh when I'm like starting on my work again, right? The next one is maintaining a diet and an exercise routine, right? So on your diet, usually we eat based on how we feel. So this one is a hits home for me, right? So I tend to go into sweets and salty. So it will be like chocolate, and for salty, I'll be like chips, right? So it's not a really good diet for me to keep. Others need to, for example, as fast foods, sweets, sorry about that, alcohol, anything that's comforting to them, right? And then at times they could overeat and fail to eat properly, like your fruits and veggies, right? So the next one is trying to eat a balanced meal, right? The way we do so is doing planners. Another way is by counting calories. Some people feel like they're in control when they're counting calories, and like that they're not overeating. Also, you could use a diet app that could help you keep control and what you're eating and when you ate it, right? Also, exercise, it affects your mood, it helps you feel better. Also, create it into a habit. They're hard to break. So once you create a habit, you have this rhythm going for you, right? So you could do a walking, running, any type of exercise that you feel comfortable in doing. Try to do it 30 minutes 5 times a day, right? Or 1 hour for 3 times a day. You could do this before starting your day, so you feel fresh to start your activities, your daily activities, or to end your day. Usually I implement mine at the end of the day, because once I take a shower, I feel nice and clean, and also I feel relaxed when going to sleep. It's a really good feeling, so go ahead and try that. And overall, it's just good stress reliever. Sorry about that. Do what you can handle. Don't push yourself too much to the brink, because then you won't be able to create it into a habit, because you feel like it's too much for you. So definitely do what you can handle. You can start by just walking, and then later gradually push yourself, right? The next one is to create a balanced schedule. Create a balanced schedule is important. So one way to do that is you could keep a calendar, right? It could be physical or do Google Calendar, right, on your phone if you want to keep all your activities and due dates and all your work schedule, all the good stuff, to help you keep balance and control of what's going on. Another way is creating effective planners. You could write in your due dates, your exam dates, your work schedule, your extracurricular activities. So many of you already won, or those who are starting and start joining activities, so or clubs, sorry. So go ahead and you can start writing those in. It's important, so when you're creating your balance schedule, is to prioritize, right? Ask yourself what needs to get done immediately, right? What can wait? And remember that it's okay to say no. Don't feel like overwhelmed. So for example, if you have club activities or something and they're asking you to do something, but you unfortunately can't do it, it's okay to say no. It's important to have communication with those members, right? Also, break your bigger task into smaller tasks. So for example, when writing a paper, take a day for each page needed, rather than having to write those 5 to 10 plus pages in those 4 hours, right? Some students believe that this works for them, but it's actually creating a lot more stress than it's unnecessary for the body, right? Because you feel all this rush, you feel it might be adrenaline or motivation, and some people it's actually stressed, that you're stressing out to finish that assignment that it's due, right? So it's not really good. It doesn't have a good effect on your body. So let's try to cut that down. So for example, you've got 3 weeks to do writing assignment. The first week will be like researching for that topic or getting all your information together. The second week is writing that paper, and the third week will just be editing and fixing that essay so it could be better and you could submit it, right? So, and do so when you're also creating your schedule, make sure that you have some downtime in between. Schedule it. You could take, like how I mentioned before, take daily and weekly breaks in between. So this could be naps or walking around the block, giving a run, cycling, anything that you like. Just schedule. Make sure you schedule that some downtime. You could actually schedule like a mini vacation as well. So going out to the mall, taking yourself to see a movie, a recent movie that you like to see, or just shopping, or trying a new restaurant. That's a good way to also schedule downtime. So when you do this, when you come back, you'll feel more energy, right? Once this downtime is incorporated in your schedule, compared if you work through your way through fatigue and stress, right? So like the little dinosaur says, self-care is not lazy or selfish. Self-care is healthy, it is important, and it is very necessary, right, in our lives. Next, we have effective planners. So like these are examples of it and how it could look like. So for example, the effective planner one will be on the writing one. If you want a physical copy, if you can see on your left-hand side right here, you can see that the person who did this wrote down specifically in detail their classes, their work schedule, what they need to do, also the to-do list that needs to get done for that week, right? And then they have a little small here notes of they need to take if by necessary anything comes up throughout the week. Some people like to have technology on their hands, right? They like to have everything scheduled there. So right here we can see we see the Google Calendar one, where it has, like, for example, purple could be going to work, or your blue could be classes, and you can see here in red there's like due dates there. So definitely you go ahead and make your own color scheme, so you can choose any color that works best for you. And then lastly, we have the to-do list. Some students feel like it's helpful to just have to-do list for that specific day that you need to accomplish, so that's also effective. So right here I put like a small little example. So let's go ahead and continue. Another self-care examples that you could actually start implementing also in your schedule is set aside time where you could breathe and stretch. Like there's another word, you could do yoga. I know there's a lot of YouTube videos that you could do small that could help you out feel stressed, stretch out the body, take some relaxation time. Take breaks outside, spend time in nature, right? Go ahead and hiking. You could also plan this out with friends, and this way you're able to be with friends in downtime as well as being part of nature, right? Like having that fresh air. Others finding hobbies and activities that you like to do. Definitely some students will like to pick up on drawing or like painting. Go ahead and you can start doing that. That could be your downtime as well. Learning just time for yourself to relax and just draw, let your imagination go wild, right? Another way is just snuggle under a blanket, take a nap, right? Sometimes it feels just so nice to be under a blanket and just feel relaxed on your own bed, right? The next one is take a hot shower or a warm bath. You could be like the bath bombs that are offered too. Those are awesome. Also pamper yourself. Go ahead and get a massage. Make art. I know there's some. I've seen some activities online where like you can make art, right, with your friends. That'd be cool too. Also writing in your journal. In your journal, you can start writing compliments about yourself, goals that have you set or that you have already accomplished. So like that, you could keep motivation for yourself. And lastly, check in with your emotions. Make sure that you're okay, right? Speak with others who you feel have to have that stress with. Go ahead and speak about your emotions with them. Crying when you need to. Don't try to hold it in. Just release it, right? And then lastly, unplug yourself. Sometimes we tend to be so much on our internet, so much on our social media that sometimes we just need to go out and having that fresh, nice fresh air, right? Of hiking or just walking around the block where you live. So remember that others go through similar experiences and difficulties. You are not alone. We're on this together. We're all human beings and we need to take time here and there in order for us to refresh ourselves. So like for example, Little Crab says self-care is not selfish, right? It's good for yourself. So if you need help besides these examples that I've mentioned, maybe we need more help. There's help inside the campus. So for example, we have the psychological services and the student health services, right? The psychologist has crisis intervention, workshops, and outreach programs. You could speak with the faculty and staff. You could actually have counseling in a group setting. They have outside referrals. So if you want to go ahead and speak somewhere that's closer to home, they could actually do outside referrals, and they have individual counseling, right? Student health services, you can make an appointment to be with a nurse. Also, if a sick room is available, you could take a rest if you're feeling kind of sick or you just feel so very tired and take a nap. Go ahead and check that out. They check blood pressure, your height, and your weight measurement. And there's also resources and assessments that they could offer and you could take at low cost to you, right? And there's also help outside the campus. So for example, there's the low cost community counseling center that specialize in psychological support, including but not limited to anxiety, depression, behavior problems, and substance. I just go ahead and share with you the phone number and times and days they're available, as well as the link you need to get more information, right? The next one is Spirits Family Services. They center around the mental and emotional well-being of children and families. Once again, the phone number and actually their websites right here. Then UCLA Mindfulness Center. There's free meditation and relaxation services and resources available to you. There's also a link here where you could get that information. And lastly, Helpline Youth Counseling. They specialize in substance abuse, violence, and unhealthy relationships, depression, suicide, sexual identity, eating disorder, grief and loss, stress and feeling overwhelmed, right? So go ahead if you need any of these resources. The links and phone numbers are there. So sorry about that. So next we'll go ahead and start about let's practice self-care. We have a little small activity here for you. For example, this little picture here says, what are you doing? I'm taking care of myself. Yeah, I'll take care of you too. So the person's helping pass down the information or like the little growth water so they could help start feeling healthy, and as you can see, it starts growing, right? So with this activity, students would choose 2 strategies that they think would be most valuable to implement in their own lives. They can choose strategies from previous examples or of their own choosing. Once they're done, they'll be asked some questions, right? So these are other examples that you could take into consideration. 5 ways to be awesome at self-care. So the first one is take time for a mood booster to help lift your mood. Set aside 15 minutes to do something you really enjoy. Listen to a few of your favorite songs or a cup of tea. That could definitely make a big difference. Or once again, the 15 minutes could actually be a downtime in terms of taking a nap or snuggling under a blanket. Also, you could write it down. You could use a diary either to keep track of all the personal goals, of all the you set and met, or to write about your day. Describe both what was not good or what you're grateful for during that day, right? And then the next one is log out, to chill out. So like going away from like social media, unplugging yourself. If you find yourself comparing to Insta models, right? Close the app and go for a walk, or call a friend and have a good chat, or even just call a friend so that you guys could both start walking around the block, right? Take yourself on a date, grab some ice cream or coffee, and just enjoy your own company without the pressure of being on an actual date. And then pump up to positive vibes, write down the achievements and personal strengths you're proud of, and then look at and add to the list whenever you're being hard on yourself, right? So questions, let's say you already choose 2 ones you want to choose. So how many times a day or week will you implement this strategy? So for example, one of them could be implementing just by walking, right? You could implement this 3 times a day, or like every week or every other week. You could do this based on your schedule and how you feel most comfortable, right? What's the benefit are you hoping to achieve by implementing this strategy, right? So for example, if I want to implement walking, I want to gradually be able to run around the block, and help that blood pumping better. Just like instead of walking, I can start running, right? So what may be a barrier to implementing this strategy, right? So this barrier could be, for example, class schedules. So class schedules could change throughout the semesters. For example, my schedule to walk or run or cycling, however you choose, I will always do it at 6 p.m. to say fall semester, but now spring semester I have a class at 6 p.m. and I can't change that class because I really need it. Then I will probably implement it either before that class or after the class. So for example, this is how we overcome this barrier, and how I mentioned the way you overcome this is that you would do it before the class or after class, and just make sure but you make sure that you have that walking strategy or cycling or running that you choose, right? So for example, self-care, and also self-care is different for all of us. So some of us may choose walking, some of us may choose drawing, some of us may choose taking a warm bath, or just taking ourselves on our own dates by getting ice cream or to a movie or anything that you like, right? So it's not going to be the same for all of us. So that will be the end of our workshop. So thank you for taking the time and seeing this workshop. Please check out other workshops from the other coaches that you're interested in. There's a lot of information out there. Please take advantage of it. Unfortunately, that you weren't able to go to our center, but hopefully we're able to meet face to face once you come to the center and the campus reopens, right? So if you have any questions, like I said, once the center is open, it's LR 101. But if you want to go ahead and make a call, I share with you in the beginning of the presentation the phone number that you could reach us, right? So lastly, just breathe, take your time, and have a good rest of your day. All right, bye everyone, take care.